Oh, there you go.
Can we kind of circle around and join hands? Is that on? How do I get it on? On?
Put it between your legs.
Close to my mouth. Okay. Can we? Yeah.
Where's Mariah? There.
Circle around and
Oh, God. Just hold on to my arms because I'm videotaping. Oh.
Yeah, just there you go. You know what? I'm just going to put it on the floor. It's way too close.
Just grab onto my arms.
Spirits, in the many names we call upon, we thank you for the blessings of this earth, the blessings of all the families of the earth. We thank you for the people gathered here and for all your children everywhere. Whatever language we speak, whatever community we live in and long to live in, may our people and our families live in peace. May we learn to care for one another as family. And for those of us who have lived in broken families, let us learn a new and healing definition of family. Let us learn to be part of the human family. And we thank you for the blessings of the shade of the trees and the ground upon which we stand, the blessings of this valley. We thank you for all your sacred creation, and we ask that you teach us that all of your creation is a part of one family. As we stand together, let us be a part of a greater standing together, keeping families united beyond borders, without borders, within borders, whatever. We're all one human family around this world. May we please treat one another with love and kindness. And may we send this message to our leaders in such a way that they cannot ignore it. For we are a part of the love and the power that is. And this love and this power will keep going. Nothing can stop it. May the actions of many kinds, the standing together, the walking together, the praying together, the activism of writing letters, the activism of standing at borders, the activism of standing at the detention centers, the activism of calling on our leaders. May those actions echo throughout all your creation, throughout all your families. We gather together not as one circle, we gather as the circle of humankind. Let us be both human and kind. Amen.
Amen. That's beautiful. Okay, everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are in our hometown doing a march for Families United, keeping our families together. So we're just starting off our walk. It's been really tough because we have fires, big time fires in our area, so a lot of people were evacuated, weren't able to be here. But nevertheless, we have a good crowd. And we're standing up for our children and our immigration families to keep us together. My husband's an immigrant from Mexico. He's been here over 30-something years. He's a legal resident, but you know, it very well could have happened to us. And he has just encountered some racism for the first time, so you know, I will always stand with our people. For any human, I would stand up for any human being against hate and racism and meanness.
Oh, I did slow-mo. Oh, shit.
But this really hits home for our people. So,
You okay? Huh? No, I didn't mean to put it on slow-mo. Can you click on the button to flip the camera?
hope I don't get hit. Huh?
I'm crazy.
Little heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Little heart of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Well, I thought like if I did it this way, people would see it. Yeah. Finally back and forth.
My dad's family, and mind you, they're almost all Mexican immigrants.
Stop abusing children. Bring the children home. Stop abusing children.
Bring the children home. Stop abusing children. Bring the children home. Stop abusing children. Bring the children home.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
The people
United
shall never
be divided. United shall never be divided. Woo! Woo-hoo! I'm on the little bike edge. I'm following my little partner here. I know.
If someone takes me out, you got it on video, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm ready.
Oh, she's ready for it. Oh yeah.
I'm so ready. Whew. It is hot.
Like, oh, shade.
That gives me a chance to take some pictures.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I really thought it was further away.
The rubber toe on one of my old pair of jeans just came.
Oh, she was just gonna hit us. Huh?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Woo!
I've had that happen.
Don't take that kid. Don't take that kid. That's an attack. That's an attack. That's not your child. That's not your child. You can have that. You can have that. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was just gonna.
Yeah. It looked like it was as long as oh, this sign on it says something.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I'm awake, really.
I was trying to wipe the.
No, that's okay.
Flip your sign.
Huh?
Flip your sign.
Give your
Flip your sign.
I know I want the back people to see it.
I know it was going sideways.
Oh.
Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what
Democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
El pueblo
Unido, jamás será vencido. Pueblo unido, jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido, jamás será vencido. In the shade too. Oh yes, we got some shade. That is so funny. That is so funny.
Yay! Try not to block anybody's sign.
I know. I think I'm gonna put my sign a little bit down.
I wonder, is there a place to get like water for everybody?
We should have did an ice chest with a couple of cases of water.
I could run home.
Do they have water?
It has to be better like a big expensive.
What's
I
nearest?
live right down the street, so I could just like go get my car, get my cooler. I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, that would be good. I don't know why we didn't think of that. We had the ice chest and we got a few bags of water.
Here, hold the sign.
Did I shut it off? No.
Actually, her friend is
Hold it better. It looks like you're just like. There. Kind of do it. Yeah, right there. Oh, like right there. Yeah, hold it like that.
I'm trying to. Are you gonna record them?
Trying to get all the pictures.
Woo! Sorry, honey.
I know. I'm like, don't hit nobody.
I know. I hit the.
We're
other
standing for the children. America does not torture children and put them in cages. We gotta get those children out of the cages. Tell me what democracy looks like.
Democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
All children are God's children.
All children are God's
The
children.
United States government cannot kidnap children in the name of democracy. This is treason.
So we're here at the
We
courthouse in
stand
our
against
town,
child abuse.
and we're standing
Stand
against.
against child abuse.
We're
Stop
standing
abusing
against
the children.
what they're doing to the immigrant children by putting them in cages, in detention centers, separating them from their parents, children as young as under 5 years old, even babies. This is not what America stands for. This is not what we stand for. This is not something that we'll ever tolerate or sit by and let happen. We're going to rise up and raise our voices against this because these children, these are innocent children who didn't ask to come here and who are paying the price for something they didn't even do.
And we're going to start it out
And
once
people
again
really
with,
need to know their history and the laws.
prayerful words
In order to
from one
ask
of
for
our local
asylum, you
ministers.
have to be on American soil. You don't ask for
Shook.
asylum
I'm
from your
looking for her
country.
in
If
the
you're
crowd.
running for
Here
your
comes
life,
Drew
for the
Day.
life of your children, your family, you have to run. You don't have time to apply, to go through a process that you have to run like many other people have run and come on boats to ask for asylum. These people don't come here to bother us. They just come here for a better life. And many of them, most of them come running from crime, running from death to save their children's life who deserve a future. And we need to be kind because we're a country of diversity. And we need to be kind because one day it could be us. And don't think it can't, it can be us. And what if it was us? We would like people to open their doors and their hearts to us. What if you were running to save your child's life and somebody locked the doors and said, no, you don't have the right papers to be here. So we're going to hear what they're saying.
We are working to unite people to care for one another. Free regardless of the language we speak, the color of our skin, the country of our documentation or lack thereof. We are one people, the human race. Let's care for one another. Let's show that love is ruler, that love wins, and love will have the final word. Yay, Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yes.
Love will have the final word.
Hey, you know, we were talking about blatant and immoral child abuse here. Child abuse is going to permanently scar these children for years to come. So I'm going to ask someone who's been a CPS social worker in our community for over 20 years, protecting the children of our community. I'm going to ask Jennifer Suki to talk about the trauma that these children are encountering.
Thank you.
Hi, so my name's Jennifer Suki and I've been in Child Protective Services for 27 years. Thank you, Daddy. And 21 and a half of them here. One of the things that I observed over the years was that when you take children away from their community, it destroys who they are. This particularly among the Native American population, when they are taken out of their tribal areas, they totally end up with problems that last. They have to go to therapy for all kinds of times, go through all kinds of Native spiritual healing. It's the same thing with other children. Parents are allowed, or the job of parents is to teach their children to love, to feel safe, and that's what they do with them. When somebody rips them out of their parents' arms, it gives them PTSD. They don't have any understanding. You take that child who's 8 or 9 months old, or 2 or 3 years old, and all they know is that they want their mommy and their daddy. And if they don't get those people back quickly, or with other relatives who care and love them, then they end up feeling responsible for what happened. What did they do that was so bad that mommy and daddy left them? And it scars them for life. There are children who were put into Russian orphanages for years, and those children suffer from something called reactive attachment disorder. It breaks their ability to attach to people and form normal, loving relationships. So that's what these kids are, what we're risking with these kids. It's torture. That's it.
That's right. It's sadism is what it is. This is sadism of fascism.
Seeds of fascism in our land. I have a representative from the Native Defense of Mother Earth, and she'd like to say a few words from the Native American perspective.
Yay! Woo!
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Ada. I recognize the concerns, the issues that we have about migrant children that are taken away from their families. We here in California and throughout the United States understand and have survived the removal of ourselves from government boarding schools. I'm a survivor. I understand what the children are going through. I was taken at a young age, wasn't allowed back home here to California until I became of age. The problems that I faced were brutal, they were sadistic, they were lifelong, things that I struggle with yet. I can only foresee damaged children. Their spirits are broken, the hopelessness that they feel, to feel like their families turn their back on them, not understanding that it's the United States government that implemented this plan to destroy people of color. Children that crimes are committed against them in the detention centers. It is actually crimes, felonies created against children regardless of their citizenship. We think that humanity has been under attack during this administration, and the children are the fatalities. We have to stand together and united. It is not the tribal way to take our kids away and to separate us. Our spirituality needs our families. We need to remember who our ancestors were. We need to keep contact where we're going in the future. These kids that are taken away from their homes feel they have no future. They feel like everybody's given up and no one is helping them. Let's stand together and give them hope. Let's let them know that we are their voice. We will give them strength, and our prayers will bring them unity someday, hopefully in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have here also a long-time woman on the front lines for civil rights, marched with her in Coyote Valley when they were trying to dismantle and did dismantle affirmative action in the UC school system. Ukiah Ca, National Women's Political Caucus, Democratic Central Committee. Proud to have her here with us today.
Hi, I'm Val Mahowski, Mendocino Women's Political Coalition, and just this way, this way. Okay. We have demanded that all families be reunited. Our voices have been powerful when we speak for justice. We demand that they stop the human abuses like imprisoning entire families who are simply asking for asylum. We can't let the pressure up. We've really got their attention. We must keep our voices raised, our calls going to Congress, our letter writing, petition signing, and rallying at full throttle. Imprisoning children with their families is imprisoning families. It is past time that the lies and destructive immigration policies end. Children deserve to be with their families outside of cages. They deserve to have their rights protected. Reuniting children with their families and then imprisoning them indefinitely in jail or in detention centers is no solution, nor is forcing them to return to the violence and danger they risk their lives to free. This has not been resolved. They have created this crisis, and they must offer real solutions that treat immigrants and asylum-seeking families with fairness, compassion, care, dignity, and respect. Let's make sure they hear our voices loud and clear. We aren't going anywhere until there is justice for these families. Ooh. Families belong together.
Democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
El pueblo unido
Jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
And now I'd like to ask a member of the Vecinos Unidos por Acción group, local activist. Él se llama Juan, and he is a local activist in our Latino community. Fighting for our
Sign is backwards.
First, I want to say thank you for coming and supporting this cause. I'm a member of a committee here in Ukiah trying to get things put together for our community. To support the Latinos in the community, as well as anybody else that wants to participate. And I'm also here to be in support of this cause and for our families that are in pain with their children taken away from them. It's just horrible to see that happening. Things that are not happening in their own home countries are happening in another countries. And don't believe that parents want to leave their children in a better place that we hear around, because nobody wants to leave their children behind with unknown people. don't believe that people want to come here, immigrants want to come here for a better life. They don't. They come here for more money. They come here for their piece of their pie. It's taken away from them. We have healthy lives. We eat well. We think about why we do. You know, because others don't. Because we may be taken from them. So we got to be conscious of that. If we eat well, it's because others don't. We got to think about that also. Thank you.
I swam the Rio Grande, and I want to tell you about my people, my Montoya people, my Hispanic people. We are hard-working people. We bring you your food. We break our backs in the field. We serve your food in all the restaurants of San Francisco. We are the chefs. We are the nannies of Pacific Heights. We are the groundkeepers of your mansions. We are the construction workers who build your mansions. We are the backbone of America. Without us, America would be a far poorer nation. So this is what I say. As a Montoya, as a person who saw in my own family, coming from a shack to advancing in through the educational system. Look around your community here in Ukiah. Half of the classes graduating are Latino. Half of the kids graduating college are Latino. We're stepping forward. We're joining this society. We're bringing our beautiful culture. We're bringing our beautiful families to this nation. So I want you to know that we love America just as much as any other American. We are patriotic, just like any other American. We are proud of our culture. We will never give up our raíces mexicanos or raíces latinos, because that is who we are. But we are strong, and we will survive this terrible onslaught upon our people. We are family-oriented people. Go to any Mexican community, we are family people. And we invite you to become our friends. And we invite you to come to our tables and be our family too. I look around Ukiah and it saddens my heart and it angers my soul that every elected position in this county is held by Anglo-Saxon people. We have yet to elect anybody from the brown community. I beg everybody in positions of power, mentor, reach out, find the young leadership of the future. Let us be a united family in Ukiah, Indian, Mexican, and European descended. We are a beautiful community. I look at you here today, and you're beautiful people. You're the people that should make America proud. So I thank you for coming out. I had a bunch of notes in Jennifer's bag somewhere about all the numbers. I am an attorney, and I want to tell you that as an officer of the courts, as an officer of the law, duly admitted to practice in 2 states in this nation, I have never, ever, ever seen, I would never, ever, ever expected to see in America the blatant due process violations that are going down on the border. It's sickening. Young children, 2 years old, crawling up on the table as the judge says, do you understand section such and such and such and such of this and that code? And are you realizing now that this is an asylum hearing? And da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What judge in their right mind would not turn in their bar card rather than participate in such an abuse of our legal system?
Tell us about the ACLU cases.
And so we want to say, you know, they used to say in the old days to the liberals, oh, they're just a card-carrying member of the ACLU. Like, you know, communist and then those damn ACLU card holders. You got to give your money if you have money to give. I'll tell you the 3 groups after I have studied that should get the money. ACLU Raices, R-A-I-C-E-S, which in Spanish means roots. They're working all throughout Texas. They're doing excellent legal work. The next group, and always reliable, Catholic Charities.
Yes.
Any group on the border, any shelter run by Catholic Charities, send them your money, because they will be there with the people. And the ACLU, by the way, was just in court. They are not going to allow the U.S. government to say hundreds of people are deemed ineligible for reunification. They're asking for an injunction on that. Many, many hundreds, up to 700 people are deemed ineligible to get back to their families. Over 700 children. Well, the ACLU is going to look at every single one of those cases. Some 400 people, they supposedly signed waivers, and they were going to consent to be deported to leave their children here. The ACLU said this is bogus. They're going to represent every single one of those people who the United States said these parents were given 4 minutes. They were given forms that were not even in Spanish or Mayan, and told many times, well, sign this and you'll get your kids back. But what they were signing was a relinquishment of their parental rights to their children, and then they were immediately deported. Another massive violation of due process. What in the world is going on when you're handing forms in Spanish and English to people who don't speak it, and then you're giving them 3 to 4 minutes to allegedly get back to their children, and they're signing away their rights? Let alone the abuses that children are experiencing. Hoods over their heads, strapped to chairs in a shelter in Virginia. Sexual assault of a 6-year-old this week. Sexual assault of a 6-year-old. There's sexual assault, there's mental cruelty. The children are being told, oh, your parents don't want to be with you. Oh, your parents didn't want you. That's why they're not with you. Now that's insanely cruel for a government official to lie to a child already in trauma and say, oh, it's because your parents don't want you. I would never have thought we could get to this level in our country. I know that, I've been in court, some cops lie, but you still have due process and you have the right to defend yourself. These little babies have had only themselves as their attorneys. Oh well, as an attorney, I just can't stand this. I just can't stand this. But I would say, you look beautiful. You are the people of Mendocino that I love to live in this town. You're brown and white and native and hippie and just really good people. So thank you so much for standing as the true Americans you are.
Legal stuff on the border for people. They are representing and organizing other attorneys to represent these children in the courts. They have a lot of attorneys that are coming from all over the country that are volunteering their time to be able to do this for these children. So please, if you do have any money, I don't care if it's $5, you can go on the RAICES website, and it's RAICES, and donate something towards them. The other thing, what Polly was talking about with the abuse and the abuse and the abuse, which is all very accurate, we work Child Protective Services, which a lot of people don't like because we get the reputation of being child snatchers, which sometimes we are, but always within the law. And you can only remove a child if a child is in imminent danger of death or emotional harm, severe emotional harm. And there's legal definitions for this. You can only not provide reunification services for parents if they fall within specific criteria. And when I say specific, it's things like the person has been responsible for the death of another child. Parents who have had years upon years of substance abuse issues and have failed repeatedly to be able to correct those behaviors. Otherwise, we are responsible for providing those services to them. Where does the government come off breaking all of their own laws? They're snatching kids away from parents because the parents are trying to keep them alive. So they're the ones that need to be sued, which the ACLU is doing, and seen in court.
Yeah, for real. Okay. I have a Mariah. You know, I'm an activist across many fronts. I stand for raza, I stand for the trees, I stand for battered women, and I stand for abused children, and I have consistently throughout my career. But you know, sometimes when you're doing a movement and you're just out there on the front lines with Earth First, my dear friend Naomi, with the environmentalists from Save Our Little Lake Valley, when you're out there and you're just, the bulldozers are coming, the ancestral sites are about to be destroyed, you hope for heck to have good journalists, good media people with you to document your story and get your word out. I am fortunate to be the friend of Mariah Gallardin of TUC Radio, international journalist friend, who helped our local tribes get the word of our fight to protect sacred sites in the Willits Bypass out to the world. She also helped us obtain free lawyers, because you need good media people to tell your story, and we are forever in debt, the Coyote Valley Band of Pomo Indians, to Mariah Gallardin, our dear and trusted ally.
Thanks for the welcome. I'm a little too early in the lineup of speakers because I'm really only talking in a way for myself, not for an organization. I want to say something about racism. I'm forever astounded that I can be here in privilege while those whose land I'm on are not. I turned my car, which is the Toyota down there, into a moving billboard for the last 6 years. It has carried that little sign, "We are on Indian land," and that is what I feel and believe and think of every day. And the only time I took that thing off was when I crossed Nevada, because I was afraid I'd get hit by a truck. The other part to it is Mexico. Mexico is really an aggregation of indigenous tribes, and they all fought to be independent in 1810. And in so many ways, Mexican peoples, indigenous peoples from what's now called Mexico, have been present here in conviviality and in friendship most of the time with the Native American nations here. And somebody here has this beautiful sign that the border was not crossed, the border crossed us.
Yes, I love that sign.
So that we are talking about illegals in Texas, in New Mexico, in Arizona, in California, and here is outrageous. Even here, why do we have a creek that's called Feliz Creek? So we ought to see ourselves as part of a community that reclaims its indigenous roots and protects those who have been overpowered by a person named A.T. Perkins, who this street is named after, who bought this land, from whom I wonder, this confiscated land in the 1850s. And we're standing in front of a courthouse that was built a few years later and dispensed law that had nothing to do with the rights of the people here, that abused them. So that's the small anecdote of my own life, and I keep looking for those signs of memory to revitalize them. And I thank you for having me speak and having me live here.
Oh, okay. Now, this is where I've lived, because she's always putting me on the spot like this, and I never know what I'm going to say. It is awesome to be here together with all of you, and to see all the different colors of our skin, and know that our cultures can exist here together, and we can help each other. And I pray that we can start to right some of the terrible wrongs that have been done. I actually, up until a couple of years ago, I think some of us were thinking that some of these wrongs we were done. We had rights, we were making progress. We had a black president, and someone in our training, we just came from a nonviolence training. We're in the midst of it right now. For people that want to take direct action, they want to know how to do it safely and effectively. And somebody said in our training this morning that they had become complacent and sort of thought that we had these problems licked. And now they woke up and realized that we don't, not at all. In fact, we are backsliding tremendously fast. And it's a terrible concern, a huge concern to me. It feels like every day, like we lose some of our rights. Every day we're losing ground. And I don't mean to be pessimistic, but I think that the only way we can overcome this is to stand together. I know when I'm at home alone and listening to the news, I feel so depressed. I feel so angry. I feel helpless. And then I call my friend Polly. I do the same right back. And we rant and rave for a while. And then we say, what can we do? And actually, we had an interesting little situation develop. We had organized the nonviolence training quite a while ago, like weeks and weeks ago. And then Polly calls me up and she says, the National Keeping Families Together called a demonstration today. And we're like, well, it's right in the middle of our training. What can we do? And so, you know, we couldn't exactly get in a fight over nonviolence training, right? Or a demonstration. So we decided that we would look at it as an opportunity, and we would have the training, and we would come here to join the demonstration. Oh, so it worked out just perfect. We're able to practice being at a demonstration with our friends, so that when we go to the Bay Area or to Sacramento, and we go to blockade an ICE detention center, or whatever we decide to do, we won't be in such friendly surroundings, but we'll remember how it feels to be surrounded by our friends here, and know that we have our allies, and know that you have our backs. We'll be representing you, and you'll be representing us, and we're all just going to do what we can. We cannot let this issue slip away. Not while one child is still without their parents. Not while one child is still suffering. We cannot let this go on. And I say this for all the children who have suffered over the years that these things have happened, that we haven't been as aware of as Caucasian people. All the children, all the Native children who suffered, all the Japanese children who suffered in the camps, all the Jewish children in Europe, that's my background. They must remain alive for us, and we must remain aware of them and never forget. Thank you.
Greetings. You all hear me?
Keep it pushed in.
Okay, so I'll hear myself. Great to see you all out here today. Just wanted to say before I talk about Palestine and Gaza that we have to see what is happening today on the border. Just another horrible moment in a long history of racism against people of color that's gone on for more than 4 centuries in this hemisphere. It started when the first European settlers arrived on the east coast of Turtle Island, and in one form or another it's continued non-stop to this day. So if you want to look at the origins of the situation on the border, you have to look at U.S. intervention in Central America, the relations the United States has had with Mexico, undermining the development of Mexico over the last century, which most Americans don't know about. Of course, most Americans aren't even aware this was Mexico. This is stolen land, 1846. a war, the largest theft of land by any country in modern history, close to 1 million square miles western United States. Most Americans don't know that, and this is why they don't even understand why your towns named Ventura or Santa Barbara or Los Angeles or Vallejo, which they call Vallejo. This is a problem that's ongoing, and it's not just something that's going to be solved by reuniting families. You'll find other ways to go against people trying to immigrate because of U.S. economic or political policies. On Honduras, we supported a coup in Honduras. We sent National Guard down there back in the 80s. Bill Clinton did that to help the Contras try to overthrow the government in Nicaragua. We supported a junta in El Salvador. And the MS-13 is a result of the U.S. intervention there. In Guatemala, we supported a genocidal government of Rios Montt in Guatemala. Why are people coming from Guatemala? This is the legacy, but they never discuss that on the radio and the talking heads, Rachel Maddow, the other, they don't talk about our history. Now, solidarity with the people of Palestine who experienced much of the same. Ethnic cleansing in 1948, 750,000 Palestinians were uprooted from their homeland, 500 villages destroyed from the ground, leveled to the ground, and told they could never come back. By UN resolution saying that people who've been forced out of their homeland have the right to return. It's not recognized by the United States or by Israel or U.S. Western allies. Today in Gaza, for the last dozen years, Israel has had a siege of Gaza. They control the airspace, the water, the borders, the southern borders, Egypt, which is the collaboration with Washington and Israel. Residents of Gaza cannot leave without permission of Israel. They cannot get medical care if they need without permission of Israel. And over there, they feel solidarity. They understand what's going on here. The people of Gaza, the Palestinians, are knowledgeable about our struggle. And actually in Ferguson, Missouri, when they had the struggle over Michael Brown, you had Palestinians and African Americans protesting together against police brutality, which is not, of course, limited to African Americans. It's all people of color in this country are in jeopardy when they see a police car behind them. Doesn't matter, actually, the color of the cop. I'll have to say that because so many are part of that. In any case, I want to say that we have to watch what our government is doing while President Putin and President President Trump are having a nice tete-a-tete. The U.S. is planning a possible war with Iran. We have to watch out for that. We're not talking about that. This country has existed on making war, planning for war, spending for war, and we have to stop that. This struggle here is part of that. Thank you very much.
Big wall. Says Mexico will pay for it all. Every millionaire, liar, and fool will wish they had never sent Trump to rule. Wants to win with, so he'll build bigger bombs, destroy public schools, and hurt single moms. He'll take away healthcare and Trumpy's henchmen deny climate change. If you're Mexican, Muslim, transgender, or gay, you'll push legislation to keep you away. Watch out, all you animals, forests and streets. I'm sorry to say, this is not a bad dream. EPA's been defunded, Meals on Wheels been attacked. No more Big Bird, the government was sacked. Oh wait, they're leaving. Drunky wants a big wall. Says Mexico will pay for it all. Every millionaire, liar, and fool will wish they had never sent Trumpy to rule. No worries if you're crazy, you'll get a gun. 'Cause in our end, we will not spoil your fun.
This guy over here is jamming.
Who? Oh, yeah.
Don't diss the Trumpy, you'll just upset him. Lies about everything, there's only news.